Hi guys, it's Sophie. Welcome to Spin a Good Yarn. If you haven't watched my previous two videos, specifically I have a Vlogmas series, but if you haven't watched the last two, watch those first. There's a lot of context and it would be most helpful if you went there rather than asking questions here. I'm home from hospital. I'm recovering from my hemorrhage. And I wanted to film, I want to knit because it feels normal, and nothing feels normal at the moment. And nothing feels right, but knitting feels normal and calming and right. And these videos, I think, are helpful for me at the minute. I thought about it every which way, but they're a way for me to talk about what I want whenever I want with no pressure. They're a way for me to tell my story, and they're a way for me to share my knitting and where I am in creating other things in my life and moving things forward, because that's going to be so vital for me, I think, over the coming weeks and months. So I'm still very poorly, I'm still very unwell. I can't stand up for long periods, and I can't move around for very much, and I can't stay awake for very long. So I am able to sit and knit and watch things on the television, but I'm very limited in what I can do at the moment. I hopefully will be able to, within the next few weeks, sort of move around the house a bit more easily and possibly out the house as well. So knitting, whilst I was in hospital, I mostly worked on my Christmas socks because I'm so glad I cast them on. And again, preemptively, I was so prepared. I knit the cuff so that the cuff was ready. So that was the postman. So I have finished one sock. I did an afterthought heel. I think that one's got a peasant heel, and I'm on the second sock, and this has been really useful. Well, I say afterthought, it's actually a forethought heel because there's my little line in there. These have been really useful just to have something to knit on. I need to sort out this knitting bag as well, it's a real mess. So I've been working on that. And then I really haven't done much on my jumper because I was just too poorly in hospital. Didn't really have the concentration, but I'm hoping to do a little bit of knitting on that this afternoon. So here's where I am on the sleeve. I'm getting into the repeats. I think I've done 3 repeats now, and I'm planning on doing 5. But I stopped in hospital because I only had this much yarn left and I didn't want to go through midway through a repeat. I also need to, when I run out of that white, just seam up here where I picked up sleeves because that's just gappy and not very nice. So yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start, stop has fallen off. I'm going to carry on and knit the sleeve of that this afternoon. I need to tidy up all of this bag as well. Everything is very tangled. But yes, I also couldn't knit on this very much because I was catheterised and cannulated for a lot of it. I had too many tubes. I wasn't allowed to move my arms in the way I needed to. Eventually I ended up with a cannula in only one arm, which meant I could knit because I could knit English style and move this hand and keep this hand still, which had my cannula in. So yes, I haven't really been able to knit much on that. And then I wanted to open up some packages, some knitting packages. I only came home from hospital like late last night, or midday today, a bit past midday actually. I've just been sleeping and resting all morning. And same with little boy, which has just been everything needed. But I did order a few things. The one thing I'm opening first, actually, that's when I got paid, which was at the end of November. And then the other one I bought because, having had such a close experience, I was like, buy the things you want. It's fine. If you have the money to buy them, buy the things that you want. So I bought something that was a bit more of a splurge for me, but it is something that I'd thought about buying. So the first thing I have, that's really nicely packaged. It's from Sew Me on Etsy, which is an Scottish actually, sewing seller. And in here I bought myself a little Christmas sock knitting bag, just because this one isn't very festive and I thought I'll have something festive. So I will swap those over. So it looks like the little car and the different trees on it. It's very sweet. And then it is fully lined on the inside, no pockets on the inside, that's fine by me. and then just a drawstring. So yeah, just a little project bag that I thought was a bit Christmassy. Not feeling particularly Christmassy anymore, as you can imagine, but I'm trying to do some stuff for my little boy, so I think it helps for me to also try and think about Christmas a little bit. And then the other one that I've got, I ordered from Pearlescence, and packaging, hang on. And I decided to buy myself the Chargu Twist shorties. It's such a sweet set of needles, are so small, and I need to figure out sort for these. But these are just the Chargu shorty set for sleeves, because I've been working on that sleeve and it's been a faff, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't, I've got a shorty set, I don't need another shorty set. And then I was like, buy a shorty set, it's fine. So yes, so I've got the Chargu shorty set, which just comes with some cables. I won't keep this one, but that one's a little needle gauge. I won't keep the stitch markers either, but some little stitch markers, and then some of the tools to change over your sizes. And these have all fallen out a little bit, but I will just show you the ones that are in there at the moment. So these ones I think are the 4 inches, and I think these are the 3s, yes. So I've now got a set of between 3.5 and 5mm needles, which are my most commonly used in shorties, and they are so compact, it's literally just this. And I believe they're compatible with the short cable lengths. But yeah, so I'll fiddle with those in a moment, but life's too short, buy the needles. That's a message from me. If you've been holding out and you have the money and it's just one of those things of you don't need it but you'd like it, buy your needles. Buy your needles, guys. And then I'm really behind on Advent. That's the last thing I was going to do. I'm just doing all my nice things, because when I was in hospital, these are the things I was like, I have to go home because I need to go and do nice things. So just as a reminder, I have the Creative Anarchy Advent, and it's the Grim Tidings Advent, but my husband has kindly mixed up the Advents for me. So these are not in order. If you have this Advent, I would recommend skipping this section, because I'm going to be showing you Advents that you may well not have opened yet. I think it's the 11th today. It is the 11th, so we've got the 8, 9, 10 and 11 to open, because I was in hospital for 4 days. Oh, lovely. This one should have been number 16. I'm just going to get my little booklet out so I can tell you what they are. So 16 is inspired by the frog prints, and it's called Your Silken Bed. And it's this pretty, almost like, not quite mint, is it? Oh, it's so nice. I don't quite know how I describe that one. It's like a greyish green, I guess. Really pretty. And then I have my handmade little Advent stitch markers, and I will find number 16 there. Yeah, that's number 16. I'm just marking them up so that when I knit my anthology throw, I have the ability to figure out which colours are which. There we go. Partly so I can do it on Ravelry, and partly because I like to know. So there's that one. Okay, and then box number 9. Box number 9. Oh, this is colour 18. So this is part of the same frog print set. Oh, I love that one. This one is called Well in the Forest Dell. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that speckling throughout as well. So this is obviously green, but with these pinks and purples and just these gorgeous black speckles. That's so pretty. And that one is day 18. So let's find myself day 18. There we are. And pop on my little marker. Yeah, that one's really pretty. I've really enjoyed the frog prints ones so far. There we go, number 18. I'm getting quite full up in here now, which is nice. Here's all the minis so far. Really pretty. Filling up my little bag. Brilliant. And then we've got 10 and 11 to open. So number 10. Oh, number 10 is 23. So again, just remember, these are a lot in advance. So 23 is Ravens Coming Home. So this should be a bluish colour. Oh, it's so beautiful. So this is Ravens Coming Home. Is that not so stunning? That reminds me of like the sea at night, like night sky and the sea. Just that's a perfect colourway. I love that colourway. I could knit all sorts in that. That is so beautiful. And that is up number 23, so we're nearly at Christmas then, if you're doing it in the right order. Absolutely gorgeous. That's easily my favourite so far. It's stunning. As I say, the sea at night is what I think of when I see that one. There we are, one more little look. And then the last one that we have to open is for today, so that's the 11th. So there's the 11th. Close up my advent box. Pop that one under there. Let's have a look at number 11. Oh, this one's nice. I haven't got a number on this one. Actually, I might do. Let me just check if I opened it wrong. No, so I don't have a number on this one. So I'm not sure which colour this one is, but I'm almost certain that it's part of the Red Riding Hood collection because it's red. Look at that one. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I'm not sure of which colour that one is. I can probably process of elimination it if we end up with a few that are unlabelled. My husband did his best, but he was looking after our little one. So yeah, that one's definitely not been labelled up. But I imagine that one might have even been 11. What I might do is put 11 on that one because he did say there's some that he didn't get to change. So that may be one that he didn't get to move around and that's what I had no label on it. So I'm going to put number 11 on for now. Which is What Big Ears You've Got. So we'll see whether I'm right or not. But yes, stunning, stunning, absolutely stunning advent, this one. So glad that I went ahead and got it. I'm gonna grab my minis. There's no like good way to show you this. But I am gonna grab my minis just in like a handful and just try and give you some ideas of the colours all together. Stunning. Yeah, definitely a blanket one for me. I think these colours are not tonal enough that I would want to do like a colourwork jumper or something in them, but they will be beautiful in something that lets each colour shine, I think. Yeah, really happy with those. And here's my little advent bag that I'm slowly filling up. So yes, that was all I wanted to update on now. I'm going to continue to update, I'm going to continue to chat. Thank you all so much for being here. And also, like, there will be people who aren't here, who aren't hearing this right now because of the type of content. And if you're not here, cool, good, I'm glad. And if you are here and you have found it difficult, I feel for you and it's okay. You don't have to engage in anything that makes it harder for you in any way. Yeah, I'm going to tidy up. I'm going to try and stand up and tidy up and sort out my knitting and then do a little bit of it because I think that will feel really nice and normal. That's my plan for the next 30 minutes or so. Hello, it's the 12th of December and I just wanted to do a really quick update today to show you that I have finished my first sleeve. How about that? We are doing well. We only have 12 days left to go in December, but I would say this is going to get finished. That's my prediction. Barring any other disasters, this will get finished. Yeah, it is Friday today. Whit's been in nursery, and I've obviously been recovering, so I haven't been able to do much, but I have been able to sit and knit, so I've sat and knit this afternoon. I need to reprint the chart for the other sleeve because I marked it up as I went. But I'm really happy with how this is looking. I'm really happy with how it's fitting. I like my Christmas trees in the middle. I think they look really cute. I haven't done any sock knitting because I've just been like catching my way up really on my Christmas jumper to feel confident that I'm still on track. Not that it matters really, but I would still like to finish it before Christmas, and it feels when I wear it like a great big cuddle, so I'm looking forward to that. Just wanted to check in on that really and open up my advent with you for the day, and then I'm going to go get some sleep. It is 3:30. It's 3. I've just spoken with my therapist about everything that's happened, and I just done my tie and bind off on my sleeve to just get myself grounded again, and I wanted to check in before I go and get some sleep. So this is number 21. I need to go get my little thing. Hang on. Oh, here we go. Got my project bag. So I can tell you what colour it is. And I'm also going to start opening stitch markers today. Because it's the 12th. So I'm going to open, no, it's 12 days of Christmas, so technically post-Christmas, but I'm going to start opening them with you guys now. So this is colour 21. Let's find it. So 21 is called Midnight Feather. I'm loving the blues in this one. I think I'm looking the wrong way. I think you guys are that way, aren't you? Look at that. Beautiful, gorgeous tonal blue. Really enjoying the blues. So yes, that is number 21. Let's get a little marker. Getting pretty full, this bag now. I'm not quite sure whether we'll fit the other 12 in. I'm hoping we will, because I think it would feel nice to have all of my skeins in this bag, because then it's like all my advents all together. What do you reckon? That's what we're at so far. We're up to here. Maybe doable. It looks so pretty on the inside. Look at that. All of those little skeins. Cool. So that is our advent for the day. Really pretty. And then break down my box. I thought about keeping these, but they're very specific to the advent. And I think if I made my own advent in future, I would want to wrap them. Oh, this is exciting. So these are the 12 days of stitch markers. Oh. That come in this little stitch marker case that I ordered on Etsy after Christmas. Actually, this was like a last run through. It is the 12th today, so I'm going to be opening them the 12th through the 24th. Is that right? Do I need to wait another day? It's fine, I'm opening one. It's not a problem. I will be one short if I'm one short. So this is number 1. I don't know, I can't remember anything about what these look like, so this is just a total surprise. But I think it'd be fun to have some new stitch markers. Oh, that's so cute! It's a little teddy bear. Can you see? So yeah, that's my stitch marker for day number 1. I'm going to keep them all in here. I think that'd be a nice thing to do, but he's very cute. I like him. I will use him on a project coming up soon, I think. Brilliant. Yeah, that was all I was going to update on just for now. I'm going to go get some sleep. My little boy was really unsettled last night. Totally understandably, his mummy just vanished all of a sudden. And he needed some love in the night. So yeah, I need a bit more rest. And then I suspect I'll start my sleeve after he's gone to bed at about 7ish tonight. It's so warm and ugly, this jumper. And yeah, I may do a bit more sock knitting. I did a tiny bit last night, but like not enough that you would see. So yeah, see you guys later. It's the 13th of December today. It is 2 o'clock, 2:10. And I've just been wrapping some Christmas presents. I thought that that'd be a nice sort of moment to update you. I'm feeling quite a lot better physically today. I've been able to, that's loud actually. Let's do some aesthetic present wrapping, then I'll talk to you. My little pussycat has just come for a cuddle. I've done quite well with my wrapping this year. I did a big order of like everything I could possibly do whilst I was in hospital, so that when I got home I wouldn't have to worry about Christmas immediately. So I've had things turning up over the past few days. And I feel like I've been fairly good at being on it and wrapping them as they arrive. So I'm a little bit breathless. It's just the lack of iron, and just because I walked Just walked to the kitchen to put the scissors away. Yeah, but I was going to open up my advents with you and then update you on my jumper. I haven't done any sock knitting since we spoke last. And then this afternoon we're planning on making some cookies, and I keep looking at the wrong side of the camera. I normally have the camera the other way around. Yeah, so we're gonna make some cookies, and we're gonna let Whit help us decorate them, just to have some nice Christmassy things for him to do. I think that feels really important at the moment. But first, Advent and updates. So from box 13, you should hopefully will know by now that these are not in order. Oh, but this actually is box 13. So some of them aren't changed. I did confirm with my husband, that's what it meant. Oh, pretty. Look at that one. That one looks like a bog, like in the nicest way possible. Like it looks like an aesthetic bog. And that one was 13. So 13 is called Is There a Giant at the Door? Yeah, I see that as like a very aesthetic bog. I love Creative Anarchy. I think they're such a good dyer. Like I think they just dye the most beautiful things. Yeah, so excited about that one too. There's some really lovely greens in this one. Like it's an interesting palette, I think. I'll just pull it out again so that you guys can see like kind of what's going on here. And I think it'd be really lovely once it has a few more of the reds in there as well. I think that will help to kind of balance the overall palette tones. There's definitely like a blue, red, yellow theme happening. So I'm just going to put a little stitch marker on. There we are. And then, because we're into the last 12 days, I think I did do it wrong yesterday, but I don't care. I'm just going to open them when I want to. I am actually going to open up my next stitch marker. So we had that lovely little teddy bear yesterday, and I have a sad thing, but I'm going to use it for something. Nicole Meets, I'm not going to talk about it right now because it's too sad, but it's perfect. It's just the right time. So we need to find number 2. Here is number 2. They say this is, I think this is called the Silly Goose. No, it's called Normal Goose. I'm pretty sure that's where I got these from. Normal Goose. And this was the last of her 2025 Advent run, so I got them like late after they'd been shipped out to everybody else because I wasn't sure if I wanted one or not. Oh, interesting. That one's really different. So I wasn't sure whether we were going to get like, I'll just show you the one from yesterday again just to refresh you. I think we might have had like all of these kind of style of like polymer, I guess that is, little ones, but this is actually completely different. So this is a little silver birdie one. So yeah, something really different. I think I have an iron stain, by the way, from in hospital. We'll see whether it turns out to be a bruise or not, but that's all that is. Nothing else has gone wrong. Yeah, so 2 little birds. They're very sweet. They kind of feel like quite Valentine's Day to me. I'm just going to try and block my face out to let it be friends with you. Hopefully you can see that. I'm not sure that's completely in focus. Yeah, that one's really pretty. That's a surprise. I kind of thought they might have been all of the same type. But yeah, really, really nice. Perfect. So that's Advent done for today. That's Christmas presents wrapped so far for today. We've already had Amazon come, so not that I buy lots from Amazon, but we've had to buy from Amazon this year because it's the only place that will ship in time for some of the things that people wanted. So yeah, we've had our Amazon Sky come today already, so I don't expect there's going to be any more Christmas gifts. So I'm just going to show you where I'm at on my second sleeve. So here we are, I have one sleeve completed. I'm actually doing really well, I think, on these sleeve repeats. So you probably can tell if I kind of shift over just a little bit. I've just got to the piece below the hearts, this little section here. Hopefully you can see that, that's where we're at. So I'm nearly into the like fully repeating section. I have just got these little few rows here, which is like, I think I've got 1 more row and then 2 white rows on this side before I'm into my repeats. So this jumper, despite all trials and tribulations, that side Sophie, is definitely going to be finished for Christmas. Like, I don't want to curse the universe. I don't think it's possible that everything has happened and I've managed to do this well and now I don't finish. I think that would be like very bad luck. So yeah, I think I'm going to finish that one. I'm feeling good about it. I have had like a busier day today than I have done on previous days because physically I've been feeling a bit better. I've been able to stand up for longer. I'm gonna move this frigging camera so I look at you. Yeah, I've been able to stand up a bit longer. I've been able to like have a shower properly rather than like a seated shower, which just makes you feel so much cleaner. And I've been able to like help tidy up the house a little bit throughout the day, whereas I've just had to let everybody do everything for me. So that's been really nice, but I'm really, really tired. Today I probably did a bit too much today. So I need to like navigate my desire for normality and pleasant activities and all of those things with my tiredness or exhaustion levels, if I'm being really honest. So yeah, I think that is sensible. I also feel like, I don't know whether it's going from pregnancy into like trauma and loss so quickly, but I really feel like I want to like move my body in a way that feels kind, like yoga and stuff, which is what I'd normally do like to help me ground. But I'm not supposed to do any exercise for 6 weeks, so including yoga, it starts from 6 weeks, so at 6 to 12 weeks I can do walking, swimming and yoga, and then 12 weeks after the hemorrhage I'm allowed to exercise like whatever I want. So that's just been a bit frustrating because I think I'm kind of like wanting to move a little bit more, but my body's not ready yet. Like my brain wants to do that as part of its mental health side. My body isn't ready. So I'm having to like manage that a little bit at the minute, is that desire for like normalcy and movement and productivity, which help my brain feel calm, with my body saying I'm not ready yet. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is try and finish those 3 rows that I just spoke about to take me up to the repeating section. That's me trying to give myself rest. And I'm going to make hot chocolate and have a Christmas chocolate and eat my little Christmas chocolate, have my hot chocolate, knit my 3 rows. And if we're still asleep by the time I finish, I will get started on our cookies so that they are in the oven and ready to decorate in the afternoon. But I think I'm going to need to ask Tom to take the lead this afternoon, because I think I did enough this morning that I don't have much more in the tank for the same energy levels this afternoon. But that's okay. I have to accept that and do my best. And Tom's having 2 weeks off, so I need to make the most of that as well. But that's my time to rest and recover, as well as his time to rest and recover. So yeah, anyway, he's asleep now, so he'll be full of beans and be fine to look after it when he wakes up. I'm gonna do my knitting. I'll show you some cookies later on. I wasn't well enough to do the cookies with Tom and Whit earlier, but these are what they made. They're just chocolate chip cookies because Tom didn't realise like you needed specific cookies to cut them out from. So we cooked them flat in a tray, and then we let Whit do some Christmas cookie making. We will probably do some more sugar cookies for Father Christmas, but I just wanted to show you them because I promised I would. I need to take my nighttime antibiotics, and I'm going to have a cookie. I'm not going to have one of Whit's special ones. I'm going to have one of the normal cookies that we made alongside. Welcome to my bedroom. This is where I keep my yarn stash. I have a little shelf here that I can see from the bed. I'm not doing like a major stash reorganisation / chat now. I just kind of wanted to do a little bit of sorting, and I thought you might find it fun to watch that because I'm aware there's not very much vlogging in this Vlogmas. I keep everything in plastic totes. That's because my mum, when they moved into their new house, they had a moth issue, and some yarn that she had stored at her house for something she wanted me to make for her, which is now made, brought moths here. Like there was evidence of moth on the skeins, so I had to freeze and sort my whole stash. I don't think that anything got anywhere near my stash. In reality, I think it was just the wool that she'd had at her house. And we had to throw some away and buy some new and stuff. But anyway, everything is in plastic totes. So I have my hand spun, and there's a couple of bits I'm planning to work on fairly soon. So this one is merino, just some pink and red barber poling, and I'm hoping to make just a little pair of fingerless gloves, because the ones I made from the Sari silk and merino, my husband loves and wants to have, so I said I'll make myself another pair and you can have those. And I'm thinking about knitting these 2 up. One's like a pinky toned, one's like a natural colour, into some kind of a shawl. So we'll see whether or not that comes to pass. Either that, or I think this one could be quite a nice hat. And I have, sorry if I just said that, I have actually sold a fair bit of my handspun lately that I wasn't quite sure I wanted to work with. because I'm just trying to make sure that my stash represents stuff I really want to work with. I have this one, which I'm never going to get rid of, which was my first ever skein of handspun. But yeah, that one is like, shouldn't really even count as stash. This one I'm quite excited to work up to. This is alpaca. You can really tell by like the floppiness. And I got to see the alpaca that this was shorn from. I'm hoping to just make a little bag with this one, and then I'll line it with some fabric. But yeah, anyway, handspun is staying where it is, which is on the top shelf. What I mainly wanted to do, I have 3 other boxes, sorry. So I have a mohair box, I have a sock knitting box, and then the biggest one is like my sweater quantities, a project quantity box. And I'm not sure that like this is quite working. So I think the handspun is staying as it is. I think the sock yarns are going to stay as they are. I'll just give you a quick peek. So these are my sock yarns. On this side are like fuller skeins. They're not all 100 grams. I think this one is 80 or 50 maybe. Yeah, that's 50 grams. This one is 80. There's a sock set there, but they're combined. And then I have any leftovers from socks I've knitted that had more than 20 grams left. I do those as minis. That was a lovely thing to do. So I'm not going to change anything about that because I think that works really well for sock knitting. It just lets me see everything. I don't think I have that much. Like, obviously I have quite a lot, but I don't think it's like too much for me. But I think these two aren't really working. Like, one's at capacity and one feels really empty. So I think what I'm going to do is, the boxes are actually 2 different sizes, you see when I stack them, because the shelf accommodates boxes of different size. And whilst I've been knitting, as we all do, I've been thinking ahead to what I want to cast on next when I'm finished. And you guys are actually sitting on top of my whips right now. So I obviously have my 2 Christmas whips. I have my jumper, and my socks. There it is, 1 sock. And I only have 2 other whips that I have in total. I tried to clear the decks a little bit before Christmas, as I knew I wanted to do some Christmas knitting. But I think what I'm going to do is have this box be the project I think I'm going to cast on next. So like my direct next cast on project. And there were 2 options of things I thought I'd cast on. I've been thinking about it. So one is with these 2 colours. So this is a Nelly and Eve skein, which is plant dyed yarn, and it's in the colour indigo. So this is indigo dyed, and this is natural unwashed Romney. And I think those 2 will be lovely together. I was originally going to make the Ovis sweater pullover by Caitlin Hunter, but I've gone off that idea. I think partly because I didn't start knitting it because I was pregnant, so then that's hard, and also because it was going to be my first all over colour work, and obviously I've just worked on I'm working on a really intricate all over colour work, so I'm not sure that that's the right call anymore. And then these 2 skeins, so pretty, right? Like, seeing them again makes me excited. I like that going through a stash does this. I wanted to knit into a Roma vest, and I bought 2 Rowan kid silks to hold with it. And my silly brain, I don't know what was going on at the minute. Like, I mathed completely wrong, so I have nowhere near enough of the kid silk, and I'm worried that the dye lots might make an issue. And part of me thinks I should still knit that slip over because I still think it'd be really cool. And part of me's been like struggling to find what I should make with everything else. So yeah, I'm a little bit undecided. I kind of do think this would be really nice as a slip over though. I might just need to like bite the bullet and buy more Rowan. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep those together because I think they still feel like that is like the project that feels the most fun. Like, I've had a look through lots of different projects that I could use with those, and I don't think that they've felt as right as that one does. And then the project I'm planning to have in my like cast on next box is, let me just pull out one skein of each, is in these 2 yarns. So they're a little bit different in tone. This one is called Mallard by Bird Street Yarns, and this is Bottle Green by Knitting for Olive. One is slightly deeper, I would say, than the other, but I think they will pair beautifully. And I've been wondering what to knit with these. I originally was going to knit the pearl jacket, and I swatched, and the fabric was fine, the gauge was not fine, but I didn't like the process of knitting it. So I was like, that's good. That's like another reason for swatching, is I didn't enjoy knitting broken rib on the size needles with the yarn I had. And I was like, don't do that then, girl. Like, don't make yourself do that. So yeah, I'm going to be knitting something different. And I think I'm going to be knitting the Mouline cardigan, the chunky, I think it's called the chunky Mouline cardigan. Because I think a stockinette cardigan in that colour would be really nice. So that is, I think, going to be my next cast on. I like the idea of having my next cast on in a box. I think maybe this way around, like next cast on, hand spun, and I have all of my sock stuff. And then this is like project quantities. I do have one other project quantity that I am going to take out and put in here. This one is a bit tricky. So I bought this to knit a baby jumper for a friend who's expecting in the new year. And I still want to make that project for her. She's a dear friend, and I want to be able to make her something for her baby. I think it's lovely, and the pattern's really cool and stuff. And I've already bought the pattern, I've already bought the yarn. I'm not sure that I'm going to manage that in January. Like, I don't know if that's just a bit soon. And she would just be like, don't worry about it, like, whenever. It's just I might have to buy more yarn if I knit it in a bigger size. So I don't think I need to do that right now, but I think I need at some point, fairly soonish, to just determine whether I would have enough to knit. Like, I think I went for the 3 to 6 months, just whether I'd have enough to knit like the 6 to 9 month size with what I have. And if not, then what do I want to do? Do I want to buy more yarn? Do I want to sell the yarn that I've got and knit something later? I don't know. But yeah, that was originally going to be my very next cast on after my Christmas stuff. I'm not ready for that yet. It's just going to be too hard. So these are like future projects. So there's, looks like a lot, but there's 3 projects in there. There's a baby sweater, an adult size jumper, and a slip over, which doesn't have enough mohair. And that is my stash. Like, I have some scraps, but that is everything that I have in the stash. And as I said, I am actually planning on doing some stashing down next year, because I'd really like to get to a point where what I have could be knitted in the next 3 months. I think that feels like the perfect amount of stash to me, because like one of the things I notice whilst I'm looking at the stash, and I do have one hibernating whip at the minute, but is I have no summer yarn at all. So like comes late spring, come summer, all of this is just going to sit and wait. And I think that the idea of it waiting, because currently it's about 6 months worth, the idea of this waiting until next winter feels a bit overwhelming for me. I'd like to be able to think about buying yarn and using it in the same year that I bought it. And I think for me that looks like buying 3 months ahead. I also obviously have projects in my head that I want to make, and like so I've been doing a birthday jumper for a while in like a chunky weight, and I have an idea for what I want to knit for my birthday jumper, and that would mean more yarn. So like I'm then getting, what in there? A cat biscuit. There's a cat biscuit. I don't know. My baby boy loves getting into these boxes, so chaos sometimes occurs. He likes being pushed around in them and pretending they're a car. But yeah, so I think that's my ideal. The other thing that I'm struggling with a little bit, and I'd love to know from those of you who are hand spinners, is spinning often feels like me finishing the project, but then I end up with yarn, right? So it's like, how do I count that? And I think the last couple of months, throwing my cat biscuit away, I haven't been spinning as much because I'm afraid of making more yarn. And I think part of that is because I span so much in Tour de Fleece, and one of the whips that you're sitting on is a hand spun project, so it feels like I've been making a lot of yarn and knitting a lot of yarn. And I wonder whether maybe, in fact I already have been, like being a bit more intentional in Tour de Fleece and seeing the summer as like my spinning time, when I knit less and I knit more fingering weight, but knitting things for projects rather than spinning to learn how to spin, which is definitely what I've done in my first year of spinning. And I have actually bought some yarn, some fibre, sorry, that I'm intending to spin to knit for next autumn, and another lot of fibre that I have sufficient of. Probably I'll come up with about 200 grams to knit some kind of cowl or like a decent folded brim hat. So I am being a bit more intentional, whereas these were more like single skeins, or like, oh, that's cool, I've not spun that, oh, that's cool, I'll see what that feels like. And as I say, I have actually been selling a little bit of my hand spun lately, just because I've enjoyed the process of spinning some of them, but then the product isn't one that I'm like immediately excited to knit with, and someone else is, and that's really cool. Like, I think most of the hand spun I've sold has like recouped the full cost of the spinning experience, which for me feels like I don't necessarily want to make money out of it. I don't think I'm very good at spinning yet, but it's kind of cool to be like, oh, that was at zero cost. I got to have that fun and it didn't cost me anything. But yeah, that is, I think, all I wanted to do with stash. I think that feels better. I like having this box that is like, this is the project I want to pick up next. I've also really enjoyed, this is like such a practical thing, but I've really enjoyed having my whip basket upstairs for like whips that are not top of priority, and having my basket downstairs which has just my main project. So like at the moment it's just this sweater in a basket, with my needles. I think that's been really nice. And then when I'm like, oh, I'm gonna knit on my socks, I can come upstairs and grab them out, but I have like a place downstairs that is like actively what I'm working on. And I think that could work quite well for me as a system as well. I'm not a monogamous knitter, but I am usually one garment and a couple of accessories type knitter, not like multiple garments. Even having two feels like a lot. But yeah, I will still have to, because I'm definitely going to cast this one on once I finish my Christmas jumper. I think that might be my Christmas cast on. I think that could be really nice. Or Christmas Eve, maybe. Maybe that'll be my Christmas Eve cast on. I think that could be really sweet to like have swatched for it in the days ahead, as long as I finish this okay. And then to cast on in Christmas Eve in the evening and have like, yeah, just something new to get my teeth into. I'm also planning on starting to knit up this sock set, the Scruffy Quilt sock set from Tiny Human Knits, and I love this. I got up in the middle of the night to manage to order, and so yeah, that one is one I'm definitely going to be casting on in the new year, or like when I finish my Christmas socks. I always have a pair of socks on the needles at all times, and that's my next one upcoming. Sorry, just bruises. I think I showed you, did I show you this earlier? I can't remember. I don't know if it's full iron stain or if it's just a bruise, but it's pretty intense. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to curl up with my cat in bed, put my audiobook on, and see if I can knit those last 7 rows, or at least like, let's say 2 rows, before I crash out to sleep. And I think this was a good plan. I think that feels a bit better than just having the mohair on it. So yeah, I'll check in with you guys again tomorrow.